aside. And I want you to know that for as long as you are here with me, I am here with you. And in our video tonight, I'm going to continue reading the story of Dororo. We're not quite halfway through the book yet, so there are still many more videos to come before we reach the conclusion. And I hope to make it there with you. But if you're just here to relax and maybe fall asleep, then I suppose it doesn't matter too much where we are in the story. What's important is your story, and that you feel as comfortable as you can right now. So I encourage you to take some deep breaths, to release the tension in your body, and to allow yourself to settle as deeply and comfortably as possible, exactly where you are. And allow your ghost to sit at the center of your being. And I will begin. This chapter is called Banman. And just as a refresher, where we last left our heroes, they were just finished with their most recent and harrowing adventure involving a cursed sword and a brother and sister reunited for a brief moment before the brother took his own life in order to stop the murderous spirit which had possessed him. And Dororo was really hurt by that last adventure, almost killed, while he was also possessed by the sword for a little while. But Yakimaru was able to save him. And then he grew back one of his eyes, so that he is finally able to see, at least partially, the world in the same way that everyone else sees it. But let's see what they will get up to now. We have this giant picture of what looks like a bridge, but it also looks like it's going up into the sky with a long gust of wind swirling around it. So maybe it's some kind of wall. As always, there is strong winds in this land. And Dororo says, "Hey bro, there's a strange wall. I was hoping it was a rest area. Looked like one from the bottom of the hill. There has to be a reason for this wall to be here," says Yakimaru. The backside's a medicine billboard. What? Just kidding. The backside's bare too. So we sleep here in the open tonight, without a roof over our heads. Huh? So that's why my butt hurt. Dororo pulls his skull out from under him. Ugh. And he kicks it down the hill. Hey look, there's skulls everywhere. He starts to scratch at something on the wood. So many arrow marks. It was probably a fort. This is likely the only wall that survived the fire. Really? Oh, I guess that was Yakimaru saying that. Good. Don't wander far. What are you looking for? Dororo goes running off. A sword. And he cheers at him. A fort's gotta have a sword lying around. You still haven't given up on getting a sword? Nope. Why not? Why not, you ask? Ahem. He clears his throat. I've known for 30 years now, oops, more like for the past 10 years, that you need money and a sword to make it in this world. Boy, that could still be true. If you have money, you just worry about it being taken. A sword will make me feel safe and confident about the future. He seems resolute in this decision, this belief. I commend you, Dororo. Even though you've been trampled on over and over, you don't give up hope, do you? I don't know how many times I've given up. Bro, drop the empty praise. I'll give you this sword. Yakimaru pulls out a sword. Yeah. Wow, he's got quite an evil grin on his face. One day I won't need it. You can have it then. Yo, bro, you're my hero. Not yet. As Dororo comes rushing towards the sword, he pulls it away, and he slams his face into the wall. I didn't say now. You want it then, do as I say. Stop stealing and take a bath. To put it bluntly, you stink. When's the last time you bathed? 4 years ago. Wow, that's a really long time. You must purify your body to carry a sword. No. He grimaces. At least wash your face every morning. No. I don't want the sword that bad. It's easier for me to steal it next chance I get. Steal it, and I'll cut both your hands off. He's quiet at this. Come on, bro. Lighten up. Brought you a rice cake. I don't want no stinking rice cake. Boo. He lies down, dejected. And so it looks like they take a nap here against this mysterious, lone standing wall. And perhaps night has fallen when suddenly Yakimaru notices something in the darkness. Looks like sort of the foxfire, or just a bunch of little floating flames. He squints harder, trying to make out what it is, and then he gets his sword ready and begins to draw it from its sheath. And the dancing flames start to swirl around and surround them in a giant circle around the wall. He's sweating with fear or anticipation, but Dororo remains asleep. Nah! Yakimaru screams, slashes his sword, and he chops through one of the flames, and sure enough, it's the head of a fox, and then the body appears. Whoosh! Zack! He chops the head off. Wolf! Thud! A fox! There's a pack of them. What's that I see? Foxfire. They've eaten human bones and have phosphorus in their mouths. It's dangerous, Dororo. Can you get to the top of the wall? Yup. Bro, behind you. He looks shocked as more of these ghostly foxes charge towards him. Roar. Shriek. Growl. He slices through them with his sword, and Dororo continues to shout from the top of the wall. Bro, in front of you. Behind you. Shut up. Yeah. Chops another of the fiery foxes. Bro. Dororo continues to shout uselessly from the top as Yakimaru makes quick work of all of the fox, slicing through their flame bodies as an example for the enemy. Withdraw. And the soldiers and the commander turn and begin to leave. Hold it. When suddenly, from the top of the wall, they hear a shout. And confused, they turn to look. Stop! And Dororo comes jumping down, armed with only a stick. Dororo, you idiot! He puts a hand on one of the dead children. I'll avenge your death. He's clearly very upset, mad and sad. Hey, how dare you? Shooting at those kids as if they were pumpkins for target practice. Damn you. The soldiers still seem confused. Take that. Yow. He jabs the stick into one of their crotches. Who is this kid? He's out of control. Ow. He bites another guy on the neck. Kill the punk. Then he throws a rock at one of them. Ding. Ow. Hey you, rat snake. Dororo shouts at the commander on horseback. Rat snake. That's right. Don't like it. How's poop snake then? Stick your neck out, poop snake, so I can tear your head off. I'll kill you faster than you killed those kids. You won't get away with that. And he draws a sword. Dororo, look out. Or maybe it was Yakimaru drawing his sword. Oh no, he's got it out. But he jumps and pushes Dororo out of the way. Dororo, don't be reckless. Leave me alone, bro. We've got no choice now. I'll take him. And Yakimaru draws his sword. Identify yourself. Yakimaru. You're just a punk. Yakimaru just stares at him. And as we zoom in on his face, there appears to be some kind of recognition in his eye, and also sweat coming down. Here I come. Yakimaru charges at the man on the horse, and their swords clang, thunk, and his prosthetic arm flies off. Yeah! It looks like he stabbed the horse. Your hand. Thud. The commander falls off the horse. Caught you off guard, huh? Bro's body was taken by 48 demons. 48 demons. This has shocked the commander, who I am starting to believe might be someone from earlier. Yup, his ears, nose, hand, and feet are all prosthetics. Was he born that way? Floated down a river in a tub after he was born. Isn't that right, bro? A tub. We see him thinking, and seeing in his mind's eye this little tub carrying a baby down a river and away from this man, who I believe is the one who sacrificed his son to those demons. You strange. Yakimaru thinks. The moment I saw that man's face, I don't know why, but I felt something warm inside me. There's something going on here. All of this strange energy in the man's glare. Withdraw, he says to his troops. After we punish this kid. No, leave him. He gets back on his horse and turns away from the young guys. Hold on, you big potato, Dororo shouts from the wall. Who are you calling a potato? We'll get you next time. We'll kill you both. Screw you. And I guess the soldiers leave, and Dororo goes back to the poor bodies of the children, and he brings them over to a grave which he's dug and buries them. shouts at Yakimaru, who seems to have been lost in his own thoughts. You're acting strange. Look, a town. This one's big. And so they've walked up a hill, and looking down, they can see a giant town surrounded by fields. And there's a stone tablet here that says, Guardian God of Travelers. I guess it's a little shrine. Looks good for the taking. Leave it to me. You won't want for nothing. I guess he plans to go in and take something. So we see him sneaking into the town, whistling perhaps, or humming. He seems very happy and sure of himself. He jumps through a crack in the wall, and suddenly finds himself in front of a large group of people who do not look happy. Huh? What the? Whoa! Stomp, stomp. They all close in on him. What's this? Whack. And yet again, Dororo finds himself bound by a bunch of rope. Hey man, why are you beating me? I haven't. Yow. Whap. Smack. They deliver a bunch of blows to poor Dororo. Yow. You hate me that much? Then do what you will. Whip. He kicks himself up, but still suffers more attacks from this group of people, the villagers. And now a big guy, a big shadow here approaches with another noose in his hand. And Dororo is laughing, I guess, steaming. He kind of lets his hatred protect him in a way from all of the pain. And this guy comes in and whips him just the same. And here he is, just tortured, face beaten and bruised. And still he cracks a smile and laughs. Blam! A giant log comes down, knocking the stars out of him. He's not smiling anymore, but he's still trying to keep up a good face. And then, splash, they throw his body into a river. And all of the feet here, they've come to see, make sure that he's sinking, I guess. Glub, glub. We just see his feet sticking out of the water as he floats down the river, and then a stick stops him. And this funny-haired little kid, or perhaps it's a person, an older kid, pulls him out of the water. He's still alive. And now we see Yakimaru again, who has continued to walk, presumably towards the village. He enters the town, same as Dororo, and we see eyes peering out from the dark shadows of the buildings. Yakimaru notices, or perhaps he notices that there's no one. He opens the curtains to some building, and it looks like flop. I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. Snap. Maybe he's just trying to make some noise. I see. He sat down. I guess he's at some kind of tea house. Tea, he shouts. The man behind the counter room and stand and sit menacingly around him. The old man goes out the back. "Get out," says one of the men. "Excuse me, my tea." Yakimaru refuses to move. "He said get out." "Keep it quiet. This is a tea house. I'm a customer. I'm free to drink tea." "What?" "Wait. Let him have his last tea," says a mysterious figure who's suddenly come in. "Thanks, man. You'll live longer by a couple of seconds more than the rest." "So, you plan to kill me? Tell me why." "We kill Asakura spies." "Asakura? Don't know him." "I bet you folks are used to going around killing the wrong guy." He sips his tea, and I guess exits the door, but all the men follow him. And when he finishes his tea, plonk, he throws the saucer down, or the cup, to the ground, and then dashes, pulling out his sword, and cuts at one of the men. And they all draw their swords as well. He jumps to the ground. Crash! Just as his cup hits the ground, so do at least a couple of the men. Thud, thud. It looks like this is blood splurting from their wounds. They weren't even able to draw their swords before Yakimaru has sliced them all with his own. Even this guy with the long hair is down. But now we have a new figure. Somebody who's watching with one eye open and one eye closed, like he's winking. And it looks like he has a little smirk. Yakimaru is surprised. The man stands amongst all of the fallen men, spits at the ground. "Well done. Are they your friends?" "They're my subjects. I ordered them to attack you. But you're strong. I'm impressed." "Yakimaru, was it? Why do you know my name?" "My dad told me. The man you fought at Banman, he's my dad." "Uh-oh. My dad's name is Daigo Kagemitsu. I'm Tahumaru. Come to my home. I'll feed you. Then kill me. I'll decide after I get to know you better." Tahumaru gets on a horse and charges off, leaving Yakimaru in the dust. Clop, 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 clop. We see his horse entering a sort of walled-off house, which presumably is where the rulers of this village live. And Yakimaru follows him. "Come." He gets off his horse and shows him into the building. And the woman inside is shocked. That boy. She recognizes Yakimaru. "I'm back, mother." "Tahumaru, who is that boy?" "He's the shady character father fought. I think he's the enemy's spy. He's quite skilled. I've been charged with dealing with him." "Let me see him." "This doesn't concern you, mother. Please don't speak to him." He slams the door. Bam. Leaves her inside. Yakimaru sits quietly with his sword to his side and is waiting. But for what? He doesn't suspect that these people are his parents, and I guess his brother. Bam! The door opens. An eerie air. It's coming from the garden. And I guess, I don't know if he can see it from there or if he goes out to check. Show yourself, ghost. You can't hypnotize me. And the swirling grows larger and larger, and a face appears in the middle, making some kind of noise. It looks like a kind of a pretty face, a happy face. There. Get on with it. Come in. And it doesn't look so happy anymore. It looks more demonic, with pointed teeth and a furrowed brow, and an evil grin. Hey, so you have. And the ghost charges at him. Whip. He draws out his sword, but doesn't seem to affect the ghost. Rather, he takes a slice on his shoulder. And falls. He's sweating. But charges again with his sword. Thud, and it gets stuck in one of the beams. And the spirit whips around him. Shing! His prosthetic hand flies off, and he goes at the spirit with his arm blade. Clamp! The spiky teeth of this weird apparition bite down on the sword, so he throws off his prosthetic leg and whoosh, sprays that liquid that he stores in there on this weird ghost beast. And it seems to have burned it. It looks very angry. Whoosh! But he was not able to defeat it. Whoosh! And it flies back out the entrance that it came in. Whoosh! And spins back into a spiral out in the woods. And then the door opens. Are you mad? Why were you swinging your sword? Maru, is that his name? Is followed by his father. Daigo Kagemitsu is the name. Yakimaru is putting back on his prosthetics. Daigo stares at him. Yakimaru looks back, still sweating from his recent altercation with the spirit. And I just want to check the name again. Taomaru squints at them both. Daigo sits down, or kneels down in front of Yakimaru, who's finishing putting on his leg. That was some skill you showed in front of Batman, kid. He says nothing. Is your left eye real? Yes, my left eye is, but my right one's fake. I'm still missing 30 body parts. Good for you. Stop it, Taomaru. Yakimaru is it. My master, Tokashi, is a daimyo, as great as Hojo of Tokai and Usuki of Ichigo. Why don't you consider serving? This is Tokashi's frontmost fortress, which I protect. That Banman wall marks the border. Asakura is on the other side. That's why you thought I was an Asakura spy. And now you know I'm not. We still suspect you, says Taomaru. I said quiet, Taomaru. So, kid, how about serving this fine fortress? What would I do here? When the time comes, you will go to war with Asakura. I have no interest in fighting. He seems to turn away from them. You don't want to waste your precious skills. He laughs. I simply wasn't born to fight. If that's all, take your leave. He lies down casually, crosses his legs, as if to dismiss them from their own home. What? Taomaru gets up and seems to be throwing his hand out or something in the air, incredulous to this young gasped. What is it, lady? Is this his mother? She just stares, open-eyed, open-mouthed, and he stares back. There's sadness in her eyes, and now in Yakimaru's as well. He starts to sweat. My boy, she says. I don't know you, lady. But her face seems familiar from a long time ago, from a time before I floated down a river on a tub. Lady, are you my mother? My boy. No, I don't have a mom. He rushes past her. You wouldn't give birth to someone like me. I don't know you, lady. Just leave me alone. And he runs off, away from her. That child has to be. But she isn't able to finish her sentence, and she just stares helplessly in the direction where he ran off. And he just continues sprinting. I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you. I've got no birth parents. Just shouting madly into the wind. And he draws his sword and chops at the branches and the reeds around him. I don't have a mother, Zack. That woman's not my mom. He's clearly upset. You can see he's crying as he chops at all the grass around him. Mom. If I had a mom, she wouldn't abandon me. Never. And so we see all the chopped blades of grass blowing around in the wind, perhaps resting in the water. And now we're under the bridge again, where we last left Dororo. You eat anything, huh? I like you. Yep. At least he found a friend who's brought him some food and saved his life. I broiled maggots from the garbage. Yuck. I'm Sukeroku. What's your name? Dororo. Dororo. That's a weird name. Why don't you get a handsome one like mine? You a homeless kid. You smell pretty bad. Pfft, you're homeless too. Not me. I have a real house and a mother and a father. There's a sign pointing here to the can that says forefather of canned soup. I wonder if that's some kind of joke because they wouldn't actually have canned soup at this time. But there's other inconsistencies in here, I suppose, so I won't go too much in there. But they're on the other side of Banman, so I can't go home. Oh, he's separated from his parents. And here's a note. Sukeroku means a typical peasant name, far from handsome. So I guess his perception of himself is a little inflated or different from how others may see it. Why not? Asks Dororo. That's the border. The other side is Asakura territory. This side is Togashi. This town used to be united, but because it sat on the border when war broke out, it was split into two, and now we're enemies. We used to get along, but now the northerners and southerners hate each other enough to kill one another. I don't know how it happened. I guess it's because of the war. And now we see he's drawn a little map in the ground. My house was here. I came to the south side to play the morning the war began. The fighting started while I was here. When I tried to rush home, the soldiers had divided the town in two with a large wooden wall. Wow, all in a day's work, they erected this giant wall. One of these looks like a piece that remained. As of now, those on the other side of the wall are our enemies. Don't cross over. I pleaded with the soldiers, but south. My house and my mom and pa are on the other side of the wall. And we see him held up helplessly at the wall. Pa! Ma! Shouting for his parents. The poor little boy looking up. And above, the giant wall that he cannot scale. Some strange circular clouds, perhaps. And a note. The wall's name, Panmun, alludes to Panmunjom, a village that stands on the border between the two Koreas. Interesting. So I guess this is all some kind of allegory to Korea in some way. The soldiers said if I tried to cross, they'd execute me. If I did make it across, the same fate would await me on the other side. There were several fierce battles at the wall. We see flags and arrows flying, and most of it burned down, and now a giant fire tearing up the wall. I suppose a giant wall made out of wood would be very susceptible to fire. The wall's gone, but I can't go beyond it because I'd get killed. You want to see your mom? Yeah, I do. One day I'm going to cross over. I'll laugh at those soldiers when I get home. Here, sleep in this bundled straw. Yup, get in all the way. Ready? Hey, what's going on? Yank. The little street urchin has Dororo tied up once more, this time through trickery, telling him he could rest in this little bundle of hay. Hoist. And now he's dangling from the bridge. Let me down. This isn't nice. Relax, I'm coming up too. Oh, okay. And sure enough, the boy has bundled himself as well and drawn him up. Why do you sleep like a bagworm? This doesn't look cool. Besides, how do you pee? There's a lot of field foxes around here that'll eat you in your sleep. You're safest this way. Okay, I mean, if he's referring to those fire foxes, it did kind of seem like they could fly, but he's survived this long, I guess. Field foxes? Oh, I've seen them all right. Yeah, they're bad. They ate the dead soldiers and multiplied. They also practice sorcery. What kind? Hypnosis. They control the townspeople as they like. When it looks like war is coming to an end, they put a spell on the town to prolong it. Why would they do that? Why? Because if the war ends, they'll run out of food. Did you see the eyes of the guys who beat you? They were. But Dororo is asleep and snoring from the little bagworm. Sleeping bag. Hey, Dororo. And he continues to snore. Mumble, mumble, bro. Mumble, mumble. Humph. So he gives up on trying to explain more as night falls. And then we begin to see the wispy foxfires developing again, twirling in the night, searching out bodies to eat. I've never heard of foxes that could do sorcery, let alone hypnosis, but this is a magical world, I guess. And the spirals seem to be trying to reach their way up to the suspended boys. And we see the rope that's tying them notices the foxfire. Splash! He jumps into the water. Swish, swish. It swims over to where the fire is gathering, and it seems to be spinning around him. Splash! He dives under the water. You've got some fancy moves, but it looks like they've all followed him in. Yeah! He slices his sword around, and it looks like their bodies are surfacing. Looks like he destroyed them all. Swash! He gets out of the water. I hope Dororo wasn't eaten by those foxes, he says, standing under the two hanging boys, unaware. Bro, mumble mumble. Dororo's right above him. This is awful. It's as if the whole town's the fox's lair. And now I guess we're above the bridge. Hey, the army's lined up in front of the fortress. They're moving out. The soldiers shout at each other or at the townspeople. Attention, fall in. And we see all of the army gathered around Daigo. Men, listen up. At daybreak, we will assault the enemy forces, obliterate them, invade their town, and occupy it. Ah, jingle, jingle. I guess it's the sound of the swords or something of the soldiers, but it startles the boy who helped Dororo, and he wakes up. Dororo, I'm going home. What? They plan to invade the other side in one go. My house is in danger. So you're gonna cross the border? I'll go with you, Sukeroku. Yeah. If we get there safely, I'll introduce you to my mom. My mom's plump, fair, pretty, and makes the best rice bean cakes. You ready? Don't get caught. Okay. And we can see the flags of the soldiers going along. This is the way back. Go. And the two little boys follow the charging army, trying to stay out of their sight. Look out for stray arrows. It's enemy territory from here. Halt. Where are you headed? Shoot. They've been caught. Run, Sukeroku. I got this. Dororo jumps and punches the soldier in the face. Sukeroku goes running. Hurry, run home to your moms. Don't look back. Dororo's sacrificing himself, knowing probably that he has no parents to return to, and hoping to at least provide his friend with an escape. I'll blind you with sand. He's crouched over and throws sand into the soldier's face, and Sukeroku goes running, arrows flying overhead. You! This way, you ogre. Nah. You punk. Don't you know me? I'm the world's greatest thief, Dororo. You think you're a big shot, eh? The man's trying to cut him, but Dororo's able to evade his slashes. Bigger is better, yay. He jumps, missing another one. Pant, get him. The one soldier shouts to his other soldiers. This should be interesting. I'll take on 3, 4, or 5. Makes no difference to me. Odd. Maybe he has serious fighting skills. The soldiers seem to be doubting themselves. That's right. You don't know my secret move. Ready for my secret move? Let's have it, punk. He lurches back and shouts. Wrong. Bong. I don't know what happened here, but it seems like all of the soldiers are suddenly flipped upside down. That's the voice of the people, the voice of Dororo serves you right. So he did all that just with his shout, I guess. But then, thunk, an arrow hits him in the back. Yow! You pumpkinhead, pissant, butt-white, stupid samurai. He's once again tied up. Shut up. They toss him to the ground. I'll take my time with you later. Best say your prayers now. I hope Sukeroku makes it safely to his house. I'll bet he and his mom are now. Lucky dog. Dororo looks sad, but then he notices something. His town's a sea of fire. Sukeroku's house is burning too. Sukeroku. So unfortunately, I guess he's able to see through the crack in the wall on which he's been placed that the other town has been set ablaze. And now we see the soldiers, the samurai, from the town that attacked, carrying off a bunch of tied up villagers. And then we see Sukeroku is with them, one of them. Sukeroku. Sukeroku, did you get to see your mom? Dororo shouts to him. My ma was dead. He's crying as he's placed against the wall. What? My ma and pa were both killed. My house was burned down. There was nothing left. Nothing. Sob. He's crying. And Dororo's starting to cry too. Don't cry, Sukeroku. What's the big deal? You'll get another ma later. How's that possible? Parents don't come after kids. Don't talk nonsense just to cheer me up, okay? And now we see Tahomaru. We shall hand out the sentence of death for enemies of the state. You have been found guilty of obstructing our army's plans. Lord Samurai, we are not the enemy. You went and decided who was friend or foe. Why I gotta die? Spare my life. Ready arrows. And he has all the samurai once again draw their bows to all these poor people lined up against the wall. Sukeroku, we're gonna be killed. See ya. We'll meet again in our next lives. Don't get killed. We gotta escape somehow. Dororo shouts. Shouts in the face of death. Shoot, says Tahomaru. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And all the arrows go flying and sink into three of the people against the wall. Ah, oh, oh no. It looks like one of the arrows has hit Sukeroku. Dororo is shocked. Yelp. Sing. Another arrow. This time hitting the man right next to Dororo. And he is dead. And Dororo is shocked. And another arrow is aimed at him. Dororo, I'm coming. Bro. And just in the nick of time, Yakimaru, on horseback, comes charging towards Dororo, draws his sword, jumps, or runs the horse right in front of the archers, slashing them all. Yay! Like a bullet, just speeds in front of all of them, slicing them down. Stay still. Snap, and he cuts the ropes that bind Dororo. And then here we have Tahomaru, who's ready with a spear. Watch out, bro. And he throws it at Yakimaru. I can't stand you. I'll take care of you right here, right now. Your style wasn't sitting well with me either. They both stare at each tramp. Tahumaru goes charging at him. Both of their horses, they're like a jousting match, going right towards the other. Clang, and their swords hit. And they go galloping off in the opposite direction. Clang, and it looks like Yakimaru's sword was broken. Whoa! And he spins his horse around and goes charging back at him. Yakimaru does the same, although now he doesn't have a sword, except for the one in his hand. So obviously, he's pulled off his prosthetic hand again, and as he nears who is probably his brother, he jumps off the horse, and Tahumaru is shocked, and he throws his hand on Tahumaru's blade, and somehow throws his other blade into his arm. I don't know if that's his prosthetic, the sword that's hidden in his arm, or the blade that got cut off. But it gets him. Is Tahumaru not back yet? Is he injured? He's fighting that Yakimaru kid by the riverbank. What? Stop them. They're brothers. And now it has been confirmed that Daigo is aware that Yakimaru is the son that he abandoned after sacrificing all of his body to demons in exchange for power. Lord, are you saying that filthy tramp and the young master are related? Just stop them. I'll explain later. Insolent dog, don't get cocky just because you got my right arm. I won't ever let you call me a dog again. Now they're both on the ground with their swords drawn, and the sun setting behind them. I'll say it as many times as I like. Dog, dog. This really seems to be riling up Yakimaru. But Tahumaru has a lot of blood coming down from his wound. You're filthy, and you bare your teeth at me. If you aren't a bastard dog, what are you? A gutter rat? I'll see to it you won't ever again use that filthy mouth of yours. Yakimaru, Yakimaru. Who calls to my heart? He's hearing somebody. Yakimaru. And this little spiral is forming. It's the fox demon. I'll take care of you next. Listen, Yakimaru. You're fighting your little brother. Daigo Kakemitsu is your father. Your father. It laughs at him. And suddenly he realizes the truth. This is my younger brother. That's right. Can you kill your little brother? Somebody has their sword ready. Now. Tahumaru points his sword, and it looks like it's shining, like it's firing some kind of beam of light. And Yakimaru seems really taken aback by this new information. Isn't sure what to do. It looks like they both charged at each other, but Tahumaru is the one that falls to the ground. Yakimaru stares back, and then goes black. But he turns to his little brother and walks towards him. Tahumaru, was it? Open your eyes and look at me. I'm your older brother. I wish we could have talked more. And they stare right into each other's eyes. But it looks like Tahumaru is not doing well. Gong. His head falls back and his eyes close. Yakimaru has a tear falling from his eye. Come, cursed fox, or I shall come after you. fox, if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have had to know. Come, I'll dice you. And so, the spiraling flame seems to be looking at him, and then this black smoke starts to sizzle up from the water and cloud all around him, and skulls begin to emerge from the mud below him. Glub, glub, glub. And then they take off into the air with the fiery wisps that propel the foxes. And all of the fiery skulls are twisting around Yakimaru, with the head of the fox who is speaking to him, in charge of them. Damn. He has his sword ready, trying to protect himself. How dare you? But it seems like the tendrils of this spirit fox have captured him. Die, Yakimaru. Die and become our feed. You plan to jump on me, the throat or neck? Go ahead, open your big mouth and bite me. Come on. There. And the maw of the fox charges right at him, and he pulls his nose off and throws it into the mouth of the fox. Eat this. Chomp. The fox seems startled, and then suddenly, kaboom! The fox's head explodes. Now we can see its whole body, the multiple tails. And Yakimaru falls into the water below. Some dark liquid whooshes out of the fox's body. I did it. The fox is standing there, headless, gushing some kind of blood. It sort of crumples in on itself and falls to the ground. Thud. Twitch, twitch, its tail twitching. Dororo, Dororo, Yakimaru shouts. Yeah, bro. Dororo comes peeking out of the reeds, and Yakimaru seems happier now. Oh, your nose is gone, bro. You look funny, like you were drawn wrong. Referencing the fact that they are a comic. My nose was an explosive my dad made for me. If it had gunpowder in it, it was my dear nose, even then. Ugh. What's the matter, bro? Dororo, my head hurts. My face is gonna explode. It's your nose, bro. You're growing a real nose, see? 'Cause you defeated that monster. The pain's channeled to the center of my face. I can't bear it. Dororo looks worried, but I think he's right. And even though Yakimaru falls to his knees, we can see a nose has now grown in where the hole was. This is my nose. It's a good-looking nose. You're looking a lot manlier. A real nose. I can smell. All the smells of the world are coming through. What are we gonna do with that? Dororo points at the fox's body. Help me, Dororo. And they drag the giant body over to the wall. We're going to exhibit it for both sides. And so they tack it to the wall with all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tails stabbed to the wall with the swords of the fallen samurai. I wish Sukeroku could have lived to see this. I don't want to see any more bloodshed in this land. And there's a note here. Foxes are abundant in Japanese folklore, often practicing deceit upon men. The most powerful and malevolent have 9 tails. And of course, so does the Pokemon Ninetales, which perhaps is something stars. But hopefully this will stand as some sort of meaning. Uh-oh. But their war hasn't ended yet. Let's go, Dororo. And he turns back and sees something. What's that? The Banman wall's crumbling. Oh, I thought it was caught on fire, but it's just cracking, falling in on itself. Crack, crack, crack. Crash! And the whole wall falls into a pile of rubble, burying the body of the fox. And then silence on the mound where it stood. Bro, it fell under the fox's weight. Some kind of dusting in the air. Look, bro, people from both towns are coming this way, see? Oh, I guess they are torchlights. All the townspeople are coming. From half-dead grandpas and barely standing grandmas to tots. I suppose because they're the only ones left. Idiots, don't go to the border. Go and we'll kill you. Rejoice, the border is gone. And so it seems that villagers from either side of the wall are now meeting on this terrible battleground, but not to fight each other, but to reunite. How are you? I missed you. Yes, we see people hugging and cheering, smiling, babies, the parents reuniting. And here we are, back at Daigo. Taomaru. It's Father Taomaru. Too late. You were my only joy. I looked forward to the day you would grow to rule the land I had taken. You were to inherit my title and riches. That is now but an empty dream. Go after Yakimaru, sir. I want Yakimaru dead before we leave this place. Bring me his head. Go, don't lose him. Yes, sir, yes, sir. So he sends his soldiers to kill his other son, the one who he had tried to abandon so long ago. And now we see just a small panel here showing Yakimaru and Dororo back at the beginning of the chapter when they were just trying to rest near what was something of a mysterious wall, and it turned out to be a place of much death. Well, that was a longer chapter than most, and I will be ending here. It was a sad chapter too. Even though Yakimaru was reunited with his father and mother and brother, it wasn't really a happy reunion. And how could it be? Because of course, his father is the one who brought all the misfortune upon him in the first place. And poor Dororo, who witnessed the death of another young kid in this really tortured world that they are trying to find their way in. But thankfully, they still have each other, and Yakimaru now has a nose, which probably will not be good in terms of smelling poor little Dororo, who refuses to bathe. But I'm sure